Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of the Anatomy of Knitting podcast. My name is Erin, and I'll be your host. For those of you who aren't familiar with my podcast, it's mainly been an audio podcast, and in the past couple of months I've decided to try and make a video podcast to go along with the audio podcast, because I find out that when I'm talking about my anatomy of segments, there's some times that I wish that there was some video that I could put along with it, so you can see the techniques and things that I'm talking about. So I'm going to try and do sort of a mashup of an audio and video podcast. I know that I'm probably going to lose some listeners from my audio podcast, but I really think that this is the future of podcasting, moving on to video. Especially with knitting, because you can show the things that you're talking about so much better. So that's the little introduction, and yeah, that's it. So first off is what's been on the needles, and the first thing is my Zombie Apocalypse cowl. You can see it here. This is using Out of Step Dye Works. It's their MCN DK, and that's merino cashmere nylon in 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. You can find Out of Step Dye Works. I have them pulled up here on my computer. It's www.etsy.com/shop/Out of Step Dye Works. You can see the ball of yarn here. So with the cowl, what I've been doing is I've been kind of randomly adding in these drop stitches here. The way I've been doing that is I started this cowl when I was on a trip to go to Mount Rainier for a snowshoeing class. And I was listening to the Subway Knits podcast, and I decided that whenever she had her transition music in the audio podcast, I would just randomly add in, let me see if I can find one, like right here, randomly add in a yarn over in the stockinette cowl, and then at other random points, I decided to drop those stitches so I could get kind of this post-apocalyptic looking fabric. Let's see, here, I'll even maybe kind of put it on here for you, like that. I'm hoping that it's going to block out just a skosh bit bigger. I'm pretty sure it will. I'm trying to strangle myself with my needles, apparently. Let's see. I'm going to try and use the entire ball of yarn. I've maybe used a little over half. I'm just feeling the ball of yarn there. I'm using my, let's see, I've got my computer all pulled. I'm not used to doing the video and, you know, having to know what everything is there. These are Addi Turbo's US 7s. I decided to use US 7 so I could get a really drapey cowl. The yarn asks for a US 5 to 7 needle. So that's that, and I have this contained in this really cool and totally, let me make it, reversible bag, like so. And then they've even got a thing that you can stick the little toggle through. I'm not going to make it do that, but this is a nice reversible bag. I purchased this from Michelle Stitches. She's Michelle Stitches on Ravelry, and then you can find her shop at Sticks, Stones, and String, which is on Etsy, and the website address for that is www.etsy.com/shop/Michelle Stitches, and Michelle is spelled with one L. This is a really high quality bag. There's no exposed seams. It's completely and totally reversible. I find I like the side with the black more prominent. And she frequently posts what she's made onto Twitter. You can see preview pictures there, and then she'll post the bags on Etsy. So, not exactly, I don't, my flip camera doesn't give me a little window so I can see exactly all of what I'm showing, so hopefully you're getting to see all of it. I figure you can see my face at least, so if I keep things around my face, you can see everything. So I'm going to put the tag for the yarn back in there. The next thing that I've been knitting on, and this is another Out of Step Dye Works yarn. This is their MCN Sock. And what I'm doing here is I'm doing a cuff down sock. And this is in the Cephalus colorway, and you can see it's black, purple, and sort of this aqua-y blue. And so I'm doing cuff down socks. This is my usual pattern that I do. I do about 1 inch of 1x1 ribbing. I know for me and my gauge using a US 1 needle here that usually around 72 to 74 stitches for me will fit my huge foot. So I do the 1 inch of 1x1 ribbing. I usually do maybe 5 or 6 inches of stockinette for the cuff. I do a slip stitch heel, like so. And then I just do my usual heel turn and my gusset, and I'm currently on the foot, and I probably have another maybe inch or two before I can start decreasing for the toe. And I actually haven't made any socks for myself in the past year. Some of you who've listened to my audio podcast will remember that before I went to Germany last year, I sort of did this push of how many socks I could knit in the 16 days before I was leaving for Germany. And I ended up being, oh goodness, I think it was 2.5 pairs is what I could knit before I actually boarded the plane to Germany. Since then, I haven't knit any socks for myself. They've been sweaters or cowls, or all the socks that I've knit, I think, went to my husband this past year. So that's this. It's really, really a nice sock. And the fabric is really nice and warm. And like I said before, this is like another one of the merino cashmere yarns. And so it's really nice and warm. It doesn't feel like, I've used the Sanguine Griffin's Bugga, and that one feels like there's got a lot of cashmere in it. This one doesn't feel exactly like there's cashmere, other than when you actually put your foot or hand in my demonstrating here. It feels a lot warmer than just a regular superwash merino. So that's that, and then I've got this in this little bag here. This is from Vegan Craftastic, and you can find them by searching on Etsy at Vegan Craftastic. It's all one word, and their website is www.etsy.com/shop/Vegan Craftastic, and that's VEGANCRAFTASTIC. So that's that. And this one is not as reversible because it doesn't have the little hole in the seam, so you can put the drawstring on the outside, but it's still a really high quality bag. There's no exposed seams that you can see. And then I bought it for this side. I really like this fabric. So that's project number 2. And then project number 3 is going to be down here. It is my dark and stormy sweater. Hope you can see all of it. This is actually the more interesting side here. This is the back. It's got a nice cable panel on there. It's kind of got, it's not exactly a twisted cable here, but it looks like it. And then it's got this cable here in the middle, and it's a raglan shaped sweater here. So you start from the top, and then you knit the yoke, you divide the sleeves off, and then you knit the rest of the body, and then some 1x1 ribbing. And then you pick up for the sleeves and do 1x1 ribbing on the cuff. And some modifications that I did for this is that I didn't do any waist shaping. I ended up doing a tubular cast off for the edges of the sleeves because I thought that it would look a lot more polished than the usual casting off in the 1x1 ribbing. And I'm going to do a video to show you all how to do a tubular cast off. But basically what you do is once you knit to the desired length, which in this case was about 2 inches of 1x1 ribbing, you start out by knitting all the knit stitches and then slipping all the purl stitches for one round. The next round you purl all the purl stitches and slip all the knit stitches for another round, and then you repeat those 2 rounds one more time. And what that ends up doing is actually creating 2 layers of fabric, you know, like my arms together here, the 1x1 ribbing for the cuff, and then you create the 2 layers of fabric, which this side is all of the knits that you knitted and slipped the purls, and then this is all the purls that you purled and slipped the knits. So by the end you have this 2 layers of fabric, and then what you do is you Kitchener them together, and it creates, you know, it's a kind of a grafted edge, and so it looks really nice, and it's pretty stretchy. You know, that's stretchy. I didn't do the tubular cast off here for the bottom. I'm currently working on it's a shawl collar, and then I figured I could probably go back and go back to the bottom ribbing and then do the tubular cast off there. And I believe that's what my plan is to do. Let's see. So right now, you can see I'm doing the short rows at the top. For the sweater, you end up picking up stitches all across, you know, the front, the back of the neck, and then back down. And then you start your first row up the button band side, and then once you get to probably about here on the sweater, you end up doing short rows, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so I'm currently in the middle of the short rows. I do believe I am halfway through. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, I'm supposed to have 24 stitches at this side of the marker. So when I get there, I know I'll be able to start the rest of the ribbing for the front of the sweater. And I'll have 3 inches of ribbing, so I'm pretty much close to being done, but there's still a bit of a slog before I'm done. So that's the beautifulness that is the dark and stormy sweater. And when I do the editing for my podcast, I'll put, you know, all the details as a little doohickey down there. I do believe that is all the things that I've been knitting currently, and so I'll move on to the next segment. So I have one finished object for you, and it is some super awesome pair of socks. These are going to go to my husband this Valentine's Day. I live in Washington State, and I find I do, first off, cut all that, okay. I work in a hospital. I'm a nurse, and I do a lot of, you know, of sock knitting at work because I find when we're slow at night, because I work night shifts, socks are really easy to knit, and then if something happens, like, you know, my patient needs something quickly, and all I have to do is just throw it down, and then I can easily pick it back up. I don't really have to count a lot in my socks at work because I just do stockinette socks like this. And here's where I when I live in Washington, the colorway that I used, a lot of people were like, "Sweet, go Cougs!" Because Washington State University, these are the colors. But I didn't go to any colleges here in Washington. I went to the University of Florida. Go Gators! So these are in no way my school colors. What these colors actually are from is Battlestar Galactica. The colorway is named Centurion, and this is by Huckleberry Knits. And you can find Huckleberry Knits at www.etsy.com/shop/Huckleberry Knits, and that's HUCKLEBERRYKNITS. And there actually is a skein of this colorway in hand-painted worsted merino, but I knit these socks in, I believe it's called the Willow Base. Yeah, Willow Blue-Faced Leicester Nylon Fingering Weight. This is the yarn that I used. And I knit these toe up, so I cast on down here. I increased for the toe. I knit, what did you call that, maybe about 5 inches a foot. And then this is my top-down toe-up construction. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that construction, I was talking to Rachel of the Knit Sense podcast at Black Sheep. Yeah, I think it was at Black Sheep when we were doing a meet and greet. And she was complaining how she couldn't really find a great heel for her socks, doing them toe up, because she really liked the heel flap, but she hasn't found anything that she liked. And so I had a pair of socks on like this, this construction, and showed her, and then she and I both created patterns based on this construction. And you can find, I'll link to those, you'll see the link down here. So what you do is you knit from the toe up, and then your heel flap, basically, if you look at the sock like that, it looks like a normal cuff down heel flap. So basically I just put it on its side, and so the heel flap is here at the bottom of the foot, and then you turn the heel the normal way, and then you do your gusset. Let's see. I then knit, that's probably about 4 inches of cuff, and then did 1x1 ribbing, and then I did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy cast off, and you can see it is surprisingly stretchy. So that's, oh, I dropped the other sock. Here we go. That's the pair of socks, and these are going to go to my husband. And he just blew a hole in the toe of another one of his pairs of socks that I've knit him, so perfect timing. And then with this being blue-faced Leicester, it should last a little longer. I've been knitting him mainly superwash merino socks, so hopefully the blue-faced Leicester will be a little stronger and will resist, popping a hole in the toe. So that's what's off the needles. So for spinning, I have a couple of things in progress, and then I'm going to show you a couple of finished things. The first thing I have in progress up here in my yarn room is this beautifully yummy, delicious, gorgeous cormo. And I'm spinning this. I'm trying to spin it in a worsted style. This is the 1 ounce that I've spun so far. My matchless bobbin. I always feel like I'm and so this is the cormo. I purchased this and it was a fleece, and I bought it at the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival in 2010, and I had it processed with Moro Fleece Works. So it's this beautiful, yummy pin drafted roving, and this, and a little bit on the bobbin is about an ounce. So I'm spinning that. Once I spin up all my matchless bobbins, I will put it onto some storage bobbins. And my goal is to get a 3-ply, I believe. So that's project number 1. Put that back down. The second thing that's in progress is on my Hansen mini spinner, and that's downstairs in the living room, and I'm doing a Border Leicester Cross fleece there. And that's a fleece I've had for a while, so I can't remember off the top of my head where I purchased that, but if I can find the tag that came with that, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen here. The first finished thing that I'll show you, if you've listened to my audio podcast, you'll have heard me talk about the Rambouillet fleece that never end. Well, it ended, and I have one skein of it, and I don't know if you can see, I'm able to like stretch it a beautiful amount. So this is the yarn that I got. I believe it's a 3-ply. It's been a little bit since it's been a little bit since I plied it and washed it and all that good stuff. So it's this beautiful, squishy 3-ply. I'm trying to remember how I spun this. I think I spun it in a modified long draw, and then I 3-plied it together. So it's not 100% even, but it's pretty, and it's going to be squishy and yummy and delicious. So that's my finished object, or my finished spinning number 1. Get it back into a moderately attractive hank. I have like a gazillion skeins of it, because again, it was the fleece that never ended. The next thing that I have is this skein of yarn, and it's from a loop bat, and it's, if you can tell, I don't know, it's kind of gone to a nice Seattle day. It's one of the sparkly bats that she does, and I believe this was merino, Corriedale, nylon, and Angelina. I started out spinning this pink color here, and then it moved on to the purple color, and then to the yellow color, which I'm not super excited about after washing, and then the green color. It's from a bat that was called Primarily Primary. After I spun up all the singles, I chain plied it, and I put it on my skein winder, which is, I believe, was my birthday present to myself last year, I think. Oh no, I bought it when I, so the way that my work does holiday time is that when you work a holiday, you can bank up the time, you can use that, or if you don't use it by a certain time, you get it paid out. And so I didn't use it, so I had it paid out, and I was able to buy my skein winder that way this past year. So I chain plied the singles so I could preserve the color repeats, and I got 312 yards out of, I think it was 4, I think it might have been 4 ounces. So that's that skein. I'm really happy with the way this came out. It's not as, oh man, I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay. It's not as bouncy as I thought it was going to be once I plied it up. But I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, and I'm going to just have to come up with a pattern for it now. So that's all my spinning. So this next segment I'm calling Stash Enhancement, but with a caveat. This year I'm trying to knit a lot of my stash. I've got a room dedicated to it, which is a little overboard, and I've been recently trying to take pictures and updating my Ravelry stash, and I was kind of shocked to find out how much I actually had. So I'm calling it the segment Stash Enhancement, just in case in this next year or so I purchase some yarn. But what I'm going to share with you today is actually more of a fiber tool. And so I recently went online and purchased from, it is www.etsy.com/shop/wee ones, and that's WEEONES. And so I purchased 4 sets of stitch markers. And the first ones that I purchased were some black cats. Let's see if I can get this to show up really well. So black cats, and that's because I have a black cat. She's currently checking out some birds in the window. The next set of stitch markers, I'm trying to find the prettiest one for you, is a set of cupcakes, like so. And they all have a piece of fruit on them. This one is I think a chocolate lemon cupcake. So there's that. And then the next ones that I purchased are super cute. And it's a set of sheep. And then this one's the odd one out, so you can tell what the beginning of the row is. The others are white, and then I've got one black sheep. And then the last set that I purchased, I've been, now I first heard about the wee ones from Karen at Round the Twist. She's another video podcaster. And I've seen these, and these are the hummingbirds. And since I've moved to Washington, I had never actually seen a hummingbird before I moved here. And my parents down in the Portland area, they actually had some hummingbirds visit their hummingbird feeders, and so that was the first time I'd ever seen one, and I've become enamored with some hummingbirds. And so I have a hummingbird feeder, and I love, 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 love to see the hummingbirds come and eat at it. And I have, I believe they're Allen's hummingbirds, and they look more like that little hummingbird, kind of an iridescent green body with an iridescent pink color on their throat. So those are all the sets of stitch markers that I have. And yeah, they're really cute, and I believe they're sized to fit up to maybe an 8 or a 9. I've been using them to knit the Dark and Stormy cardigan, and they've been working just fine on those US 7s. So that's this week's fiber tool, stash enhancement, etc. So now we've come to the end of the episode. I'm really excited to get this all edited so you all can see it and post it, and I'm really curious to hear the feedback that you have. It's been a little rough around the edges, this podcast, because I'm used to editing myself a lot, I'll just say that. So I hope you enjoyed this. You'll see all the contact information at the end, and yeah, you should either hear from me or see me in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited to see you all then. Bye-bye.